contact with a test one.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into the museum. For those who don't know me, my name is Amber, and I'm going to be joining Reese as one of the interviewers on the show. So if you want to keep up with all the work that the museum does, then subscribe to this YouTube channel to keep up with our interviews. If you want to collaborate with any artists that we have on the show, then check out the website, tmtv.world. We have directors, producers, stylists, all that on our tab called the directory, so check it out. If you know today's artist who I'm going to be interviewing on the show, then give a shout out in the comments down below. If you hail from the neighborhood of Jamaica playing like today's director and playwright, then give a shout out. But let's get started with the interview. So I want to welcome Paloma Valenzuela to the show.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
You're acting all shy. Check you out.
No, I'm just impressed by you. You're very, I don't know. You're very charismatic.
I try. Just kidding. You play a really charismatic character on your show. You're the creator of the Pineapple Diaries, right?
Yes.
That's a YouTube series.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the show about? I've been watching a couple episodes, but what would you say the show is about?
So the Pineapple Diaries is a comedic web series that airs on YouTube. We sometimes throw some clips on Facebook, but the main source is YouTube. Yeah. And it's about 4 women who are in their late 20s or verging on their 30s, and just experiencing, what it's like to go through adulthood and try to manage your relationships, manage your career, your goals, what it means to be an adult, be independent, and maintain your friendships. Yeah. So everything that has to do with kind of like getting older, but this chapter of getting older, which is like in your late 20s, 28, 29, some of the characters are turning 30 in this season. And so it's something I'm personally experiencing as well, and that's kind of what the show explores.
Exactly. And I knew womanhood was like at the crux of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of like that Sex in the City kind of girlfriends type of thing.
It's been compared. I'm not mad at it. Yeah.
But the spin is, this is in JP,
yes.
in Boston.
Yes.
And it has a large focus on, would you say Dominican or just Latino culture?
Well, the characters in the show, the majority of the women in the show are Dominican American, and there is a side of the show that's very important to me personally that celebrates and explores the experience of being Dominican American, which is an experience all on its own, but also the show, I think any Latin American could relate to it, and I think Latinos from many different countries and cultures can relate to it. But the characters themselves are Dominican American. Some of them are Puerto Rican and Dominican American. Some of them are Puerto Rican Bostonian.
Exactly. That's his own, come on, man. That's his own mix right there.
So and the show certainly explores that, definitely.
Yeah, the identity too. Mm-hmm. And your main character, which I thought, this actually stood out to me, just because, in novelas, you have the typical light-skinned protagonist, but the protagonist is not you, but it is another person who is an Afro-Latina, some would say. Was that a deliberate choice?
It was very important to me, for me to not only have these women be kind of reflect the reality of what my girlfriends look like, sort of like a reality where I could watch something that I felt like I could relate to.
Definitely.
But that they also, so what I can relate to is that Dominican American women and Dominican women and many Latinas don't all look the same. We all don't look the same, but sometimes it's hard to find that representation on television. And so to me it was important to show that in the show, so that any Latina, any Afro-Latina, or a Latina who wears her hair curly and big and maybe doesn't fit into the category of the telenovela, like you say, look, that sort of like bronze, long hair, slick.
Yeah.
Which those women are fabulous too. It's not about taking anyone away. It's about allowing more representation. But yeah, it was important for me to have those women be able to watch the show and say, oh my God, like, you know, I look like these women, or I can relate to these women.
Exactly. And then even going off of that, so in terms of relating, there are, you know, aspiring playwrights, directors here in Boston, young women, that you will kind of by virtue be a symbol for, be a role model for. And we did connect on this earlier, but you went to BAA.
Yes.
Like Boston Arts Academy.
Boston Arts Academy.
And you were a theater major, right?
Yes, I was a theater major.
Right. And it's kind of limited in that school. But you started off in theater, but now you have your own production company?
Well, I call it a production operation because I still believe it to be very nonprofit. Even Pineapple Diaries is nonprofit.
Okay.
We received a grant to be able to do it, but as of now, nobody kind of gets paid from it. So it's still like kind of like that love of the art kind of project.
Okay.
But I still call it a production operation. I'm sure a lot of people would tell me that I should just like fake it till I make it, but I just feel like calling it a production company is like
the words, man. Sometimes it's all
eventually, of course, I would love to go there with it. But yeah, I actually at BAA, I felt like I wanted to be an actress first, obviously, in 9th grade, going into high school, and that was what I wanted to do. But because of Boston Arts Academy, actually. They did offer other classes. They offered They had a playwriting sort of, what do you call them, a teaching assistant or somebody who came in to give like a guest teaching thing from NYU, who taught a playwriting class, and then another man who came in and gave playwriting classes, and I realized that writing felt like a little bit more like this is what I wanted to do, or at least do everything.
Exactly.
And they offered video production classes and everything, so I got a little taste of everything there. So it was good. Yeah, it's a good start.
All right. Have you learned anything different since you started your own production operation? Or
different?
I
don't know.
From being an actress to being the one who coordinates.
Yeah. I think what's funny is that it's important to kind of know how to do a little bit of everything if you want to produce and direct, for sure. But also it's good to try everything, because I think that it's important and it's okay for you to say, you know what, this isn't my department. This isn't my thing. And sometimes with the show too, there's a lot that I'm doing that I know that, in an official capacity, hopefully in the future, with a little bit more of a crew, a little bit more just sort of production support.
Right.
I probably wouldn't be doing everything, but like, for instance, the social media stuff, I don't think that that's my thing, but I would love to eventually bring on someone who can be in charge of that. I love producing, I love directing. Editing is something that I feel like I love to do, but there's a lot of pressure, a lot of needing to rely on technology, and I'm not sure that I have the patience.
All right. So I promised I wouldn't let you talk about that.
Yeah, I know, right?
The nightmare.
I love that. I love editing, but again, I feel like, in a more official capacity, I would love to have an editing crew and all of those things. So those are the things I've learned having the production company, that it's good to try a little bit of everything, but what are you strong at, and where can you ask for help? Where can you get help?
Exactly. So you'll be better at what you're specialized in doing, but just by being, exposed to all of these different roles.
Yeah, and I think it's important, because then you know where everyone in your team, kind of what they're going through, and you know how to maybe support them, and they support you.
Constructive criticism, how to make it better, understand their point of view. I get that. So I understand that when you first graduated from college, you went to the Dominican Republic to work on a project, and I think I saw that you just went to Peru.
I did.
Is that true? So traveling has been probably influential on you. Is that a fair assumption?
I feel like, for a long time I was just traveling between Dominican Republic and the States.
Okay.
And I feel like I just jumped into traveling last year. I went to Mexico, I went to Greece, I went to Turkey.
Wow, I didn't know all that.
Yeah, no, and so to me it was, but yes, traveling is really important to me. I would love to continue to explore. I can't even, the list goes on and on of the places I want to go to. Right. But Peru was beautiful. Just breathtaking.
Yeah. Did you work with, people from the actual island? The difference between, studying with someone who is an American teacher versus someone who is not American. Is there any difference in the perspective of your art studying in maybe a Latino island or something like that? When you were in DR, what were you working on exactly?
Well, my first job in DR was a second assistant director for a TV show.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that when I moved to DR in 2009, my Spanish probably wasn't as strong as it is right now.
Yeah.
That was certainly different for me, being able to try to communicate as quickly as you can to a group of people that speak Spanish, and maybe your Spanish isn't as strong as it could be. My Spanish definitely got better after living in DR, which was really important to me, so I'm glad I had that experience.
Yeah.
In terms of the Dominican, like the, what's the word I'm looking for? Scene.
Yeah.
The industry scene, the art scene, the amount of talent in DR is incredible, and I mean, it goes across all boards, like dance, theater, music. I mean, I think that the country in general houses a lot of artists and supports
You don't
art.
hear about that often.
Yeah, and so the film industry is very, it's budding, it's brand new. They say in Spanish, like, estamos en pañales, like we're still in diapers.
Okay.
But
That's
young...
the best time sometimes,
The young artists
creative.
working in the film industry right now are just incredibly talented, focused. They work so hard. And the graphic designers, motion graphics, editors, sound designers. I mean, it's all there in DR.
Right.
And it's young people like learning kind of on their own, or like maybe they'll leave and they come back and they bring it back into the culture, and it's just it's inspiring, and it fills you with energy to be on the island working with those people.
Exactly, and I feel the same energy here in Boston.
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
Speaking to you.
Yeah.
So it's been a pleasure having you here today.
No, yeah,
Thank
it
you
was
for
so
coming.
nice. It was nice being here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
No problem. And I know that you said you don't do social media much, but where can the people find you?
Well, I'm just not good at promoting. But yes, but I have my social media. I got Instagram and Twitter, and the handle is at I am La Gringa Loca for both. And then you can find Facebook, Pineapple Diaries on Facebook. Just say Pineapple Diaries.
And how often does that shoot, or does that premiere on YouTube?
We're doing season 2 right now, and you can find an episode every Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube. And if there's any change in schedule, I will always let my people know on Facebook or on my Instagram, and let people know when they might be able to look out for the episode.
Word. All right. Well, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
I'm sure I'll see you again.
Yes,
Thank you all for tuning in. Once again, follow Paloma Valenzuela on the social media. Keep up with the show. Watch it every Tuesday, Thursday?
Tuesday and Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday. You heard it from us. Thank you for tuning into the museum.
Paranormal, very scary. Make a move, we hear it. On my way, I dot him off. Try to shoot, I run him off. And I know all of them talking, but they ain't gon' do it like me. They want the credit, but they don't approve it like me. And I know you cannot get it, the energy's moving me.